All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call Now, or GMC tweet of the night. This is from SportsCenter. Rory McIlroy didn't hold back when asked about Live Golf. He basically said, if Live Golf was the last place to play golf on earth, I would retire. That's how he feels about it right now. I'd imagine, obviously, there's so many things wrong with Live Golf. And Rory McIlroy is one or two or three guys in a position that could say something like that, Chris.
I think Rory and Woods, actually, who are the guys that Liv wants the most and has probably always wanted the most, have been fairly principled about how they've spoken about this whole thing. If I were Rory, I'd just be really upset that while I was out there sort of taking the verbal bullets for the PGA Tour, they were in the back rooms cutting deals or trying to cut deals that involved me. Like, Rory having any allegiance to the PGA Tour is, I think, rooted in Rory's sense of like what matters to him and competition and the way things ought to be in his mind. The PGA Tour has screwed him, its officials, time and again with this whole situation. So I do feel bad for him, and I'm glad that he's largely being allowed to get more or less back to golf now and isn't going to be asked about it as much.
And Rory could have got, that Mega Millions type money if he decided to go to Live. I mean, it was reported that Tiger Woods turned down $900 million.
Yeah, I mean, they both would have gotten enormous, insane money, but I do think if you're trying to lure them, there's diminishing returns when Tiger's already made $1 gajillion and Rory has too. At some point, both of them might actually say, what's really another $700 million? I've already got more money than I could spend in 20 lifetimes.
All right, let's go out to John in Franklin Park. How you doing, John?
Hey, how you guys?
Good, thanks for calling.
Hey, quick comment here about the Pirates. I think it's kind of ludicrous bringing up the idea of trading Bednar. We got this big draft.
Why, though?
Yeah, I'll let you finish. Go ahead. But
why does it strike you as ludicrous, though?
Well, under nutting, it's that game, right? But, if you're going to do the job, if Ben's going to do the job, roll your sleeves up and win now. Garrett Cole.
Well, let me offer this counterpoint, though. Like, I'm sure, like, what you probably mean is, hey, they're going to be a contender. Why not keep them? They traded Joel Hanrahan after 2012. They found Mark Melancon in that deal. Jason Grilli was only their closer for the one season, 2013. Then Melancon took over. I mean, even when they've had good teams, they have been willing to make the switch at that specific position on the roster, and it hasn't hurt them. So that's the precedent that I'm leaning on that says, hey, don't just treat this like you can't possibly do it.
Bednar's from Pittsburgh. I remember Jim Gott. Jim Gott was,
But if so wait a minute. Then be honest. Is it him being from Pittsburgh that makes you not want to see him get traded? Because that really shouldn't factor into the equation here.
It's one of the many things.
All right.
I don't think that's
John,
a good enough
I
reason.
understand that you make some good points here, but I'm looking at the Pirates competing in 24, 25, 26, and, you're going to have to pay Bednar at some point, right? So if you could get a big return that might be the closer of the future, that might be a third starter, that could potentially be that outfielder you're looking for, you make that deal. It would be smart. It would be a good business decision for the Pirates to do that. They did it with all the other closers, just like you pointed out, even Mark Melancon. I would do it. Maybe not this year, but next year I would really look into it.
I mean, yeah, I just think that it's obvious, like what I said, Hanrahan, Melancon, Grilli, they cycled through those guys a little bit, especially Hanrahan right on the precipice of contending when it looked like they were starting to like truly build something. I understand. I am not some like anti-Pittsburgh pride type of dude as far as hometown pride for any of these players, but like David Bednar having grown up 25 miles from PNC Park and pitched for Mars is not a good enough reason to say, I'm not trading this guy. It really isn't.
If it was, they would have drafted the guy and not traded for him, They could have caught him in, the 15th round.
I mean, Neil Walker got traded, and my anger over that trade had nothing to do with Neil Walker being from Pittsburgh and the Pirates sending him away. It was that they made a crappy trade that brought John Neese back. That's what made me mad about that. I mean,
they should have traded him sooner.
It's not that the guy is from here.
They held on him too long, and they should have traded him sooner. Let's go out to John in Perry South. How you doing, John? Oh, I think you out there? John? John. All right, let's go out to Bob in McKees Rocks. How you doing, Bob?
Hello.
Hey. Yeah, you're
Hello.
on. What's up?
Okay. Hey, fellas, thank you.
Yep.
I need your opinion on something.
That's what we're here
this
for.
This afternoon, I was listening to the sports program, and I had the same gripe that all these people calling in about the Pirates putting these games on different networks. I live in a seniors home center, and we look forward to watching our Pirates play. Now we're being denied that. Why are they doing this?
Look, Bob, I totally understand,
Greed.
and I get it. Yeah.
Streaming greed, like
Yeah.
Apple TV wants to put their game. I mean, it sucks. I actually am sympathetic to Bob and anybody in a similar situation, a senior home, an apartment complex where you don't want to pay for Apple TV Plus or whatever. I do think that stinks. That is my chance, though, to mention that when those games are on Apple TV or whatever and you don't get Apple TV, the only way to catch Pirates baseball is on the flagship home of the Buccos, 93.7 The Fan.
So, Chris, do you think this is like just a test on what they're going to do here in the future? I mean, I understand we might be
Streaming's
like
gonna be the norm.
7-8 years away from it, and maybe that's going to be the norm for a lot of these sports and a lot of things. But right now, I think you need a broadcast-type channel. Look, the Pirates are going to be on TV next year, and the Penguins are going to be on TV next year, and it's going to be similar to what it is this year. The call letters aren't going to be AT&T Sportsnet. It's going to be something else, and you're going to be able to watch it. I don't like the fact of these one-offs, the Apple TVs and then the Amazons, where it's hard for other people that don't subscribe to these streaming sites to get those games. It is unfortunate.
I mean, yeah, I don't like that. At least in the NFL, when there's an Amazon game, the deal stipulates that you have to have it on an over-the-air channel. I think what's kind of interesting about this whole dynamic with streaming is that some of these teams, like I think the Suns did it maybe in the NBA, they just bought back their rights and they're putting the Suns on an over-the-air channel. I want to say one other team might be doing that in Major League Baseball. Like I want to say the Padres actually are doing it despite their
they
their
went
huge
streaming.
Payroll.
But I think there is a network
No,
kind of like what we have right here.
Their games, I think, are over the air. I think they have their games on an over-the-air channel. Like they're making sure that San Diegans can actually watch the games.
I think so, and it's a similar situation like the CW or something like that, where they are taking that stream and putting it over the air. I think it's something similar to that from what I read. But I mean, the Pirates have to figure something out here. This is not the town to do all streaming. It's not going to work here right now.
I mean, unless it becomes so ubiquitous that everybody has it, that a senior home has streaming for all the TV. I mean,
okay,
those are going to be the people left out in the cold.
Let me take this one step further. This isn't the town for a pay-per-view type system for Pirates baseball.
Oh, you're saying we're not a pay-per-view town? Well, what about all the WWE pay-per-views that were held here? I mean, Mankind got thrown off the cell 25 years ago, a couple weeks ago.
But you're going to lose a lot of fans. You're going to lose fans like my wife that watches it every once in a while when it's on TV in my house. My mom, people like that aren't going to subscribe. I think you're going to lose a lot of your fan base by doing that.
Well, if
pay-per-view,
if baseball was
pay-per-game type
concerned.
thing.
Richie, if baseball was concerned with losing a lot of their fan base, they would have started changing the game and doing things differently a while ago. But I digress.
Yeah, like a salary floor.
Salary floor would be interesting and nice. Yes, there are a lot of things baseball could have done a while ago to get a younger audience, and they've only now just started dragging their feet into the present. For instance, the pitch clock makes the game a lot more fun to watch. Could have seen that, I don't know, 20 years ago? That would have been nice.
And now the players are trying to revolt and get it changed. It's not going to happen. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys.
All right, we're going to take a break, Chris, but I want to come back and talk a little bit about the chances of Ohtani getting traded. I mean, there's rumors out there. I don't think it's going to happen. I want to get your opinion. That's all coming up next. Stay right there.